What's up, everyone? Good morning. This is Gail Dudley with your news in motion. How are you? Today is Monday, November the 9th, 2020. So who is awake with me this morning? I know some of you are still celebrating. Some of you may be extremely tired. Good morning, Jacqueline. How are you? Good morning, people. Good morning. Come on in here, y'all. We still celebrate. Good morning, Brenda, Patricia. Good morning. I'm trying to catch all your names as you're popping up, but sometimes it goes pretty fast. So good morning. If I'm missing you, please forgive me. Good morning, Tamia. Good morning, girl. You know I got your back. Good morning, Yvonne. Good morning, Adrian. Good morning. Good morning, Kim Hill. Good morning, great people. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Diane Ladybug. What's up, girl? Good morning. Y'all, if you ever want to be up early with somebody, it's Diane Ladybug. Trust me. It is Diane Ladybug. She comes to party and she comes bearing gifts. Girl, I'm still thinking about that apple crisp. You'll have to make me some more. Good morning, Deborah Johnson. Good morning. So if y'all looking for some apple crisp for Thanksgiving, good morning, Kelly Lee. You want to call up Diane Ladybug. Good morning. Good morning. So y'all still partying? Y'all still partying? I know I am. Good morning, Pastor Alex. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right, first I'll give some celebration, some news, and then we got to get busy, y'all. I told y'all we weren't going to be able to rest for too long. I thought we could at least rest until after Thanksgiving, but that ain't happening either. That's not, y'all see that? Ladybug said I sure will. See, there she is. That's called community, y'all. I still love it. I was telling some friends of mine this weekend that this has become a family. This has become a family. So we're really excited about it. And shout out to those of you at Mount Olivet who told my man y'all watch the news. Thank you for that. Thank you. All right, y'all. We see that Biden's victory margin continues to grow even after he has announced. Good morning, Marion. Even after he has announced his victory continues to grow. Good morning, Kim Miller. Edmondson, celebrations erupt on Saturday in major cities, y'all. When I was just going through different videos, just major cities and outlets, they just erupted on Saturday. People broke out and danced. People got out of their cars in the middle of the street and started dancing. Screams broke out. People were honking their horns. People were jumping up and down. Many people were breathing a sigh of relief. They were just like, yes. I will never forget. Many people had tears of joy. They were embracing. They were doing all kinds of things. I'll never forget. Good morning, Valerie. I'll never forget. I had been at home watching, since 5 o'clock on Saturday morning, just watching. And I kept telling myself, you have got to put this down. And I was like, but I couldn't. I was glued. And so when I finally decided that I wanted some What the Waffle. Here in Columbus, Ohio, it's a Black-owned business. I said, I'm going to just go get me some shrimp and grits and some of Gail Troy's sweet potato muffins. Thebomb.com. Anyway, I am on the highway, headed that direction, parked my car, and my phone is ringing, but the phone disconnects from the car. So I had missed my daughter the first time. So I'm walking across the street. Good morning, Judy. I'm walking across the street. My daughter calls back. And when I answered the phone, I love it. Y'all coming up in here. Good morning, Antoinette and Karen. I'm walking across the street going into What the Waffle. My phone is ringing again. What's up, Latrice Jones? And I answered the phone. And it's my daughter screaming. And that was, there's a scream like, help me. But then there's a scream like, oh yeah, let's get the victory party going. So it was just so exciting. So I'm in What the Waffle screaming. People around me are like, what's happening? Latrice Jones' daughter's there. She goes, I'm just getting the alert. So we're like having a party in the middle of What the Waffle. And so, but I'll be honest with y'all. It was like, man, I can breathe. I can breathe. Good morning, Stephanie. That's what it was like for me. I don't know what it was like for you all. So if you don't mind just posting in the thread, what was it like for you all? But for me, it was like I could breathe. It was like I wasn't okay feeling as if I was under oppression. or I was being suffocated. And I don't know about anyone else, but I thought about George Floyd. I did. I thought about him. I did not cry until Saturday night when Kamala Harris gave her speech. And then I was weeping by the time Joe Biden gave his speech. But it was just like, oh my, this is what's happening. Oh my, this is real. Here's this woman who looks like me, who looks like my daughter, who looks like so many of us Black and brown women. I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. Even looked like Black and brown boys. It was just like, oh, yes, I can breathe. So I can only imagine the excitement that broke out. And y'all, I don't know if y'all noticed it in y'all city, but when the fireworks were going off during the speech, fireworks was going off in and around Columbus, Ohio. I said, everyone is partying. Everyone, there's this sigh of relief. It is just so amazing. And people had on their mask. There was this one, I was watching BBC actually, and there was this one where this girl jumped out of her car. Some other people jumped out of their car. You could tell they didn't know each other. They had their mask on. They looked at each other like, should I hug you? And they were like, oh, whatever. And they just hugged each other anyway. And I was like, this is amazing. This is amazing. So y'all, even in Washington, D.C., Black Lives Matter Plaza was packed with thousands of people. Good morning, Carolyn. Thousands of people celebrating. Y'all, New York Times Square looked like the ball drop night of New Year's Eve. Parties around the world broke out. Ireland broke out with champagne. People literally came out of their homes with champagne bottles, shaking them up and down and popping them one after another. And I was like, y'all wasting some champagne that could go with some mimosas, but go ahead and party anyway. That was happening. London, England had fireworks. Paris, all of their church bells began to ring at the same time. At the time that it was announced. Israel was celebrating. Germany was celebrating. Just so many more, y'all. It was like, yes. All right, y'all. Now, I got to give you a little bit of bad news with the good news. I got to give you some bad news with the good news. Good morning, Nikki Burton. Good morning. I need something made. I'll be calling you. Y'all ever want any amazing art? Amazing wearable art or wall art or whatever kind of art it is, that's the person. She's on there, Nicole Burton. Y'all, I've been buying things from her, what, Nikki, since 1980? Or was it before then? It was somewhere around 1980. Was it 80, 90? I don't know. It's been a very, very long time. She's a go-to. Now, let me say this. Don't be asking for a hookup. Don't be asking for a discount. Y'all, we got to stop that with our businesses. She's a designer. Her stuff is in Macy's. It's in Macy's. So you get one of a kind. Yeah, there's your plug, Nicole. All right, y'all. So here's the bad news. Good and bad. Still bad. Voter turnout. And I need to read this because I want to make sure. 1995. Thank you. The 2020 presidential election, a referendum on Trump, that's really what it was, has officially hit the highest turnout in more than 50 years. As of Sunday, the tallied votes accounted for 62% of the eligible voting age population in the U.S., more than the 61.6% who voted in the 2008 election. That's not too high of a number compared to 2008 was 61.6, and then we had 62%. That's not that big of a spread. As new votes are still slowly tallied, the rate will continue to creep higher, and that is Nichols Riccardi reporting from the AP, that's the Associated Press. I wanted to share those numbers this morning that says we have a lot of work to do. We really do, y'all. If, y'all may think I'm nuts, but I keep saying if we can even get to like high 70s to 80% of voter turnout, we're doing something. So that means we have to continue the work. And again, hats off to Stacey Abrams in Georgia, over 800,000 new registered voters. That's just absolutely amazing. So y'all, just think if we can find, and trust me, I got an email out to her camp saying how, do you have a toolbox? Do you have a resource kit? Do you have something that those of us in other cities and states can look at and duplicate? Can you take what you're doing in Georgia and share that among everyone else around so that we can do this together? And y'all know me by now. I don't care who you vote for. I want you to vote. I want you to exercise your vote. Now, the truth is I really do care who you vote for, but it's not my business who you vote for. I'll say it that way. But everyone should exercise their right to vote. That's our civic duty. And I'm really serious about that. So call me crazy, but if we're at 62% now, by the next general election, I'm not talking about the in-between election, although every election is important, so please hear that. But in 4 years from now, in 2024, can we get to that 80% mark? And I believe we can. I really believe we can, but that means we cannot stop working on this now. We have to continue this fight. We have to continue going forward. And I'm committed to doing that. And I'm committed to using this platform, News in Motion, to help get us there. We can't stop. We cannot stop. So let me just keep going. President-elect forms his transitional team. CBS News is reporting, I want to quote this as well. President-elect Biden is expected to unveil a slate of executive orders and other legislative pushes on the first day of his presidency aimed at reversing some of the most controversial legislation of Donald Trump presidency. According to two sources familiar with the transition, the president-elect is also expected to announce today a COVID-19 task force team. And hold on to that. I'm going to share something when I get to the coronavirus numbers in a moment. Biden is expected to announce he will rescind the Muslim ban, rejoin the Paris Climate Agreement, rejoin who? That's what I be telling y'all about, every day with the coronavirus. He plans to rejoin who? That's the World Health Organization. Restart the Dreamers program and implement a temporary moratorium on deportations in order to review the deportation system. He is also expected to send a bill to Congress to grant citizenship to the Dreamers, young people who were brought to this country illegally as children. So he has a serious piece that he wants to roll out immediately. And I have to be honest with y'all, I'm in agreement with all of those things. Next, will he or won't he? It appears that there will not be a concession from the current occupant of the Oval, which makes things messy, which really makes things messy. But we can get there, So that's roughly 5% increase per year. Can that be done to me? I think it can. Tell me if you think I'm crazy. I want all of y'all to tell if y'all think I'm crazy. That's a 5% increase per year. Can we do that? I believe we can. So y'all weigh in on that. Especially if we all play our position, I believe we can. All right, arguments. Y'all don't forget, the Supreme Court will hear arguments tomorrow in the case that seeks to eliminate the Affordable Care Act. They will begin hearing arguments tomorrow. Y'all, this is 1 week after the elections, and the people have spoken. Joe Biden has a record-breaking number of votes. People have spoken. I know they will still hear arguments. I know they're going to use their legalese. I know they're going to use their experience and their background. I know they're going to look at torts and everything else. Yeah, I know the language. Torts and everything else. And the question is, how will they vote? Because you're talking about 22 million people who will be without insurance, especially in COVID-19, and they won't be able to get other insurance with a pre-existing condition. So what are we going to do with that? So y'all even begin praying. I know we've been praying about this argument that they will begin hearing in the Supreme Court tomorrow with the Affordable Care Act, but really pray about that between today and tomorrow, because we are possibly looking at 22 million people without insurance, depending upon which way the Supreme Court will go after hearing that argument. All right, who will it be, Georgia? Who will it be? Y'all, right now, the Republicans are clinging to the chamber as some races are too close to call. They may lose. They may lose having Mitch McConnell as their majority leader. They may lose that. So if you are a resident of Georgia, hear me, please hear me. If you know anybody who's moving to Georgia before January the 5th, and they already have their address, they already have their location, any students who are there, they have until December the 7th to register to vote. They have until December 7th. We can get to 80% if we do our part to get people registered. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you. That's a crazy goal, but I'm going for it. And I hope y'all are with me on this. Y'all, people in Georgia, you have until December the 7th to register to vote. The runoff race, there's two of them. The runoff race, will be January the 5th. So listen, even if you voted absentee in your other state, if you had already moved to Georgia, just go register to vote. You will have to surrender your license, your driver's license or your state ID. You need, if you don't have any bills coming to your house, you need your lease agreement or your mortgage loan paper. If they look for a secondary, a bank statement of the bank of that place is true. Yep, follow Stacey Abrams' blueprint. Exactly. That's why I sent her an email. Well, not her. I sent their camp an email saying, her organization email asking, is there a toolkit that you all have that other cities and states can use, that we're all using the same thing in doing this? So I'm waiting to hear from them. I sent that on Saturday. Yes, I did. I'm bold like that. I believe I am going to hear from them. Remember, y'all, Stacey Abrams was in Ready Magazine. Yes, she was. So that's how bold we are. And you all know I used that, right? I sent that, we covered her. We did an interview with her in Ready Publication. See, I know we've already had conversation. You got to use what you know, y'all. You got to use what you know. So yes, Damir, you're absolutely correct. So if you're in Georgia and you are not a registered voter or you're moving to Georgia, register to vote today. Okay, just register to vote. Register to vote. Now, they need us. Let's say you don't live in Georgia. They need us. And here are several ways that we can help. We can join their call bank. We can join their texting, and we can use that outvote that we've already downloaded to our phones, and it will just show us the Georgia residents. There's just different icons on there. They're already, people. These IT people are the bomb. They quickly made things and turned things around. So now it looks like, everything with outvote will look like Georgia. So we got that. So, and then postcard writing. So whoever's in there, if y'all wanted to put some of these links down, that would be great. And I'll read them a couple times. If you want to write some postcards, you'll have to put your own stamps on them. Postcard stamps, I believe, are 35 cents. If you want to write some postcards for the runoff, it's or actually I have it as HTTPS, the semicolon, / / but I think www works too. Postcards to swingstates.com. Again, that's postcards with an S to swingstates with an S.com. So that's postcardstoswingstates.com. And if you don't grab it, that's okay. I'll put it on there when we're done, once I come back from IG. The other one is Vote Forward, but it's only fwd.org. So www.voteforward, and that they only use that as fwd.org. So that's VOTEFWD.org. And then there's a couple of Mobilize US, but I'll put those on there because those are some long URLs. So thank y'all for putting those up there. But y'all, they need our help. They need our money. $1, $2, $3, $5, $10, whatever you can give. They need it. I believe Bloomberg has already agreed to spend so much money in Georgia for the runoff elections as well. Thank y'all for putting those up there. So they need us, y'all. They need us. We cannot just be like, oh, la-di-da. No, they need us. Even in social distancing, what can we do? Can we do Zooms with students that we may know on the campuses? Can we make contact with people we know in different organizations? What can we do? What can we do? And there's something we can do. Y'all, Outvote is a great tool. Y'all know that. I've shared that with y'all during the election we just had. What can we do? And by the way, congratulations, Lachelle Strad for judge. She won her seat, and I just saw her on here. She won her seat. So congratulations to you, sister. I know I posted it on your wall, but I wanted to post it in this community as well. Congratulations on your win. And girl, you were out there every day. Every day you were out there. All right, y'all, the coronavirus numbers, we have 10 million. Yeah. 10,288,480 confirmed cases. Remember, I go to the World Health Organization. Deaths, 243,768 deaths. Recovered, 6,483,420 that have recovered. So let's celebrate that recovery. All right, I'm going to read a couple of things, quotes for you. And I don't see Mike Nicholson on here. So, Damien, can you tell Mike Nicholson to jump on here? Y'all, new U.S. COVID-19 cases passed 120,000 per day, 3 days straight. Yeah, 3 days straight. And we have the White House Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows, who tests positive. That's happening, y'all. 120,000 new cases per day. We have passed that per day over the last 3 days. And then this is something that was shared, and I want to read this to you. Demia says she was in the ER and it was stacked with COVID cases, stacked. Demia, we're praying your complete healing too. We're praying. So y'all, here's someone who's saying she was in the ER, and that was just yesterday, and it was stacked. All right, so let me read this, please. Without testing, scientists can't get a clear picture of where the virus is taking off. With as many as 40% of COVID-19 cases estimated to be asymptomatic, a quick test result is key to stopping the spread of the disease. And research has found, y'all get this number, research has found about 75% of infected contacts need to be quarantined to stop the spread. Can y'all just stay home? Please, can y'all just stay home? Y'all, it's not worth it. It's not, whatever it is that you're doing, it's not worth it. It is not worth it. Y'all, 75% of the infected contact need to be quarantined to stop the spread. 75%, y'all. 75% of us in the United States of America need to be quarantined to stop the spread. All right? The world is unsure how the current occupant, I didn't say his name, I changed it to current occupant. The world is unsure how the current occupant will help with COVID-19 over the next 72 days. That's a concern. He's playing golf. He don't care. Therefore, we must do our part, y'all. Wash your hands, wear your mask, practice social distancing. That party ain't worth it, y'all. It's not. Send a gift, say congratulations, happy birthday, whatever that tagline is. Send them a gift and call it a day. Seriously, y'all. Thanksgiving's going to be hard for all of us. It's just going to be a different Thanksgiving. We're not going to have the laughter, the fun, the game playing, the things that we have done, but it's okay. We're talking one Thanksgiving. Out of how many have we had? We're talking one Thanksgiving. Y'all, we have to take this seriously. In other news, y'all, and I don't know if y'all feel the same way that I feel. Again, y'all know I'm 55 years old. I grew up with him in my household. Y'all, Alex Trebek died. He passed away. But now he was a serious fighter. He was the host of the show Jeopardy. He passed away yesterday at the age of 80. He announced back in March 2019 that he had stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And here's the thing that's interesting. I shouldn't say interesting. They only give you, like, even in the first year, a 20% chance of living. Homeboy was a fighter. He was a fighter. And he believed that he's going to keep going. He didn't want anybody feeling sorry for him. He's a fighter. Where you're having pizza and M&Ms, okay, girl, okay. So, y'all, there's Alex. So, I don't know if Mike Nicholson is on here or not, y'all. So, y'all can tell him he missed it. Mike Nicholson was on fire all weekend with his post. If y'all not following Mike Nicholson, you want to follow Mike Nicholson here in Columbus and actually around several states here. He's known as Mike Nicholson Hip Hop Fitness. Mike Nicholson gets the win today. So for the win, Mike Nicholson. I had to tell him several times, if you don't stop. He was on fire all weekend. He really was. So Mike Nicholson for the win. And he's not even on here. But someone let him know, Mike Nicholson for the win. He's not on here. Something seriously is going on for him not being on here. All right, y'all, for my inspirational message, y'all, the word I want to use today is healing. I want to use the word today, healing. Elder Ruth Pugh shared on her prayer call. Y'all have heard me talk about her previously. She talked about, he did go hard. She talked about that God is not going to ask you, any of us, who we voted for. He's going to ask us, how did we treat our neighbor? How did we treat that person? Did we ever go ask for forgiveness? Did we ever forgive anybody? That's what he's going to be concerned about. He is not going to ask us who we voted for. And she and I were on a message thread on yesterday, and we were talking about how not only is the nation is divided, but the church is divided. The church is seriously divided. For many people, it was a one issue ballot. For others of us, it was, this is who I believe that Jesus has called me to be, to love thy neighbor as myself, to love my neighbor as myself. And my neighbor could be Muslim. My neighbor could be an immigrant. My neighbor could be someone who has been to prison. My neighbor could be, you listed out, my neighbor could be a recovering alcoholic. My neighbor could be an alcoholic. My neighbor could be, and you can fill in the blank however you want to. The other part, and I put this on my wall on Saturday because I was really grieved by looking at some of the posts I was seeing. And I put up there Proverbs 12. And I encourage people to read it out of the New English Standard, the English Standard Version of the Bible. Because that's packed there with deceit, with lying, with all kinds of immorality, okay? And so for me, I voted my conscience. And like I told y'all early on, I was able to breathe on Saturday afternoon. I was able to breathe. We are truly divided. And I'm also afraid, and I want to say this, and I'm cool with the pushback. Be very careful how you are communicating to other Christians that they're going to hell because of the way they voted. Yeah, I saw that. I saw some of those things posted on Facebook and on Instagram and on Twitter. That's a lie from the pit of hell. And if I can say back to you, you've been deceived. And we need to find a way to still pray together, still communicate together, to still worship together, because that's not okay. And I'm sorry to say there were a lot of young, what we would call activists, Christian activists, who were making some some harsh statements that are not true. They're not so. They're not so at all. And there needs to be some teaching. So I'm back to, what are we teaching from our pulpits? And your pulpit could be a church building pulpit. It could be a platform such as this. It could be a small group. It could be a blog. It could be your website. It could be a one-on-one conversation, mentoring. What are we teaching? And we need to be sure to teach the entire Bible and not just a snippet of it. Not just a snippet of it. I agree with Elder Ruth Pugh from this morning. God's not going to say, Gail, who'd you vote for? He don't care. He's wondering, how did I treat my neighbor? He's wondering, did I practice my relationship? What was my relationship like with him? Did I live what I have been speaking and saying and teaching? What was my walk? He is not going to give I'm going to say that nice because I'm talking about Jesus. He's not going to give whatever on how I voted. So talking about we're going to hell, we're going to be damned, we're in darkness, the enemy has us all messed up. Get over it. Because I looked at my welfare, my being. I looked at teaching is not the biggest concern for a lot of churches. And you know what, Pastor Alex, you are correct. And I'm glad you are a pastor that will teach the truth. And thank you for what you do with your congregation and with your men's ministry and everything you're doing. Thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm going to say this too. I'm like on dangerous territory, but I'm okay with it. I'm going to go there. Here's the other thing too. Isn't treating the neighbor even? Yeah, Demi, you're right. You're right. Here's the other part of it. Y'all know I'm going to get it, but I'm going to say it anyway. Who are we answering to? There's so many people jumping up now, especially now that we have live stream and this is the way we do church now. You don't need a building anymore. Why are we just jumping on somebody who says something good? Why aren't we going back to the word and opening it up to see, is that really true? You know, I do something called the inductive study method. The inductive study method of the Bible: observation, interpretation, and application. Let me break that down for you real quick. Observation is, what do you see in this passage of scripture? Who's in it? What time frame? Who are you talking to? Who are these people? Where is this taking place? What was the situation? The observation, observing everything that's in that passage of scripture, whether that's one scripture, 5, 10, 15, whatever. Then the next part of that is interpretation. How am I going to interpret this? And it's not about me reading into what the word says, but it's about pulling out of what the word says. What is Jesus speaking to me at this very moment? What is he saying to me right now? What is it that God said? Then the third part of that is application. How does this apply to me? How does this apply to me and my walk and what it is that I'm doing and what it is that I'm saying and what it is that I'm living? I have no business looking at what you're doing until I get myself together. So be careful saying that somebody's going to hell because of the way they voted, because that's not what God's going to ask us when we get there. He's going to say, well done, my good and faithful servant, well done. Because if I made it in, if you made it in, it's going to be well done. It's not going to be, now who did you vote for in 2020? That's not going to be the question. That's not going to be the question at all. Not at all. Not at all. That was not in my notes, but I felt the need to share that. I felt the need to share that. So with that being said, tomorrow, if God is allowing me to be here in front of you tomorrow, it will be the 100th episode of News in Motion. Seriously, I can like literally cry when I say that. The 100th episode. I'm going to still give the news, but we're going to party a little bit too. We are. This is what I'm asking you to do when you sign on tomorrow, if you choose to join me tomorrow. I'm asking you that when you sign on tomorrow, that you just put something in the thread that says how News in Motion has impacted your morning. Again, how has News in Motion impacted your morning? I want to grab all of those, and then the team is going to put together some sort of video that just has that. So just how has News in Motion impact your morning? That's all. When you sign on tomorrow, just put that in the thread so that we can grab that. But I want to say thank you today because, if God takes me out tonight, this is episode 99. I want to say thank you. But I believe God's going to allow me to see you tomorrow. Good morning, Oscar. That God's going to allow me to see you tomorrow. That will be 100 episodes. So if God allows me to jump on here tomorrow, it will be episode 100. All right. I know IGTV is wondering, where is Gail Dudley? Because they be waiting. So until tomorrow, 7:25, right here. Do me a favor. Mike wasn't on here to share this. Do me a favor. Share this video. Share this live, not video. Share this live. Share this live, please. If you have not followed me on YouTube, please do so. And that's youtube.com/Gail Dudley. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. On Sunday mornings, I give a devotional at 7 a.m. Right now, we're working through the book. We talked about this Friday. Who told you that? The Truth About the Lies. We're working through that book. We were on our third week yesterday, but 7 a.m. But you can hit the replay. You can see it. But thank you. I got to go to IGTV. All right, y'all. Have a great day. Peace out.